This is man's best hope. Damn the modern world.
Excuse me.
Back to the Dark Ages and the safety of holy fear.
Morning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world. I think it's something more. Something darker.
Stop right there. I'm in.
We have to be ready. You, me, the others. There's an attack coming. From far away.
Not coming, Bruce. It's already here.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses.
And where is the Gotham Mask? The masked vigilante has been under no show.
Evil minds that plot destruction.
No protectors here.
Sorcerer of death's construction.
This world will fall, like all the others.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Each of us, in some way, is held back.
Strong man as strong as alone. You ever heard that? You should probably move.
Lights are.
Shall we?
It's good to see you playing well with others again.
Just like a bat. I dig it.
Maybe temporary.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Nickatina Show Midnight Run. We are getting started here. It's about 12:19 a.m. on the West Coast and a lot later everywhere else. So today was an interesting day because today we saw kind of a little flurry of movie news. And we haven't had that for quite a while. Ever since this pandemic has taken over, not a lot of news has been coming out of the movie industry other than Zack Snyder's Justice League, who we just saw a fan-made trailer made by John Aaron Garza. Love him or hate him, as the one Carlos just commented on. If I can find it. It's not like there's that many in here. He sure is talented. When he makes these trailers, he does a very good job. And he actually just made a new video. It's sort of a preview or trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League for HBO Max. So he put something together, and I thought it was pretty cool. So we do have a number of topics that we're going to talk about today. But first, we have someone in. We have that one Carlos lined up to come on in. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Nothing much is going on. Just 3:20 a.m. on the East Coast.
Hey, I appreciate you staying up for this.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted about it, and I don't know. I just felt like I had energy tonight, so I
well,
I
that's good.
Come on,
awesome. No, I'm happy to have you here. So there were a number of topics that came up, today. One of them actually is about a new Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus. Have you heard about this today?
No, I haven't really been connected to any news today.
Well, let me pull this up and we can kind of go over it really quick. This is from Deadline. And let's see. Can you see that? Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah. Yep.
I always had to go back and make sure it's on the screen. So Disney Plus plus a Star Wars spinoff series. It's about the characters from Rogue One, especially the character that Diego Luna played, which was, I believe his name was Cassian Andor. And so it's going to follow him, and basically it's a prequel following his character, and then they've also cast an actor or actress by the name of Audria. I can't pronounce that last name, even if I tried. Arjona, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've announced her character. I know Grace Randolph was saying that she's supposed to be his sister, and which is going to add some kind of conflict because obviously she probably won't make it through the series because she wasn't around for Rogue One. So, and I agree with what Grace said. I would rather see her be, his sister rather than, just a love interest, because
Right.
I think that's been done so many times now. And at least when you have a sister, she can engage in other sort of storylines and adventures without having to be directly, connected to him. So they can kind of break off and do their own thing, and then kind of reconvene at a later time because they're kind of their own, characters. But I think this is pretty cool. And so far, the Disney series that they've put out, such as Mandalorian. And Mandalorian, I love that series. I thought it was awesome. Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yeah, I didn't binge it. I caught it right when it came out, so
Yeah.
I watched every episode every week. Yeah.
No, and so did I. What did you think about it in terms of the production quality?
It was near movie quality. Like, of course, like there are always limitations with, the amount of sets and the amount of practical kind of setting you could use, but they did a lot of great work with what they did with the I don't know what you call it, but it's a relatively new technology where they had the screens that project the background, and they're so detailed that like you can't really tell that it's even there, and the lighting's always correct, and proper, and reflections are also really well done. So yeah, I think it's really, really nice what they did.
I thought it was fabulous what they did, and even the first episode I thought was so good when they had that IG unit doing his whole bounty hunter mission, and they end up working together, him and Mando. But it's funny because throughout the Star Wars lore, they've never actually shown an IG unit in action. I mean, they've had it in novels. I think they've even had them in comics. But you've never seen a live action IG unit actually fighting in battle. I mean, I think the only time you ever saw one was in The Empire Strikes Back, and he's just standing there while Vader is talking to all the other bounty hunters. So to see him in action was really cool. I mean, he's obviously he's a droid, so he's super accurate in his shooting, and the way he would move, how you would spin around, and just he could shoot more than one target at one time. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and like I really appreciate how at least the IG unit in this series is not treated as kind of like just some lackey for some person with like some kind of nefarious purpose or whatever,
exactly
whatever motive. They had their own, they had a strict kind of programming, but that didn't mean they couldn't communicate or make decisions for themselves,
Exactly, and the fact that he got reprogrammed. This is a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm pretty sure everyone has basically seen this series. I mean, it's so badass. But he gets reprogrammed, and the fact that he was able to change his how his character kind of changed based on the reprogramming, and then he became a kind of a protector.
Yeah, nurse droid.
Nurse droid, exactly. And that was a really cool aspect that they kind of covered, because he obviously, Mando doesn't like droids. And the fact that now, instead of being a killing droid, now he's a nurse droid, and he's here to protect them and take care of them. It was such a cool kind of element that they added to the series. And I just really fell in love with this show. I thought it was really good. And on this article, let's see, Tony Gilroy, who co-wrote Rogue One, is set to write the pilot for the series in addition to directing multiple episodes. He's also serving as a series showrunner. So that's pretty cool because I mean, obviously we all loved Rogue One. At least I did. I thought it was really good. And I loved how and this kind of goes for, I mean, I guess mainly, I am a DC fan. I'm a fan of DCEU, obviously. I've got my Batman shirt on. But
yeah, I got a Bizarro for my profile pic.
Exactly. But I loved how it had such a darker feel to it and just more of a grittier feel. And as far as I know, and this is what has been reported, Gareth Edwards, actually, the director, he had the movie actually, it was a darker movie and they had to change some of it because they thought it was too dark. Which kind of goes to show you that, it could have been a darker, more serious film. But even I would say that Rogue One is an example of a studio intervention on a movie where they're kind of meddling with the movie, but it actually turned out good. They did a good job with this movie. And I enjoyed it all the way through.
It was still really dark for being
a
studio mandated Star Wars movie. I mean, are we caring about spoilers for Rogue One? Because that's like what is that now? 3 years?
Yeah. If you haven't watched it yet, then don't even tune out because you should have watched it by now. And then
yeah, no, but the waterworks are building up back at the end of that when the whole compound was exploded and basically every single character that they so lovingly introduced had died.
No, they all died, and that was the best part about it in a sense, because there was no way that you're going to carry the episodes on. I mean the episodes that you're going to carry the characters on because you knew that they weren't around later on. So at this point, it's like, hey, why not kill them? But what's funny is that the actress who played I forgot her character's name, the main character. She had actually and I don't know if the rest of the cast, but I know her and Diego Luna originally had signed on for 2 films. So I think they were going to try and keep them alive originally, and then they realized, you know what, let's just kill them off. And they all went out hella hard too.
But I also feel like when you kind of have that in mind, that this person's only going to be around for one movie, that you care more about the character arc, because that's the only impression that fans are going to have on them. So, if you start a story with them, you're kind of forced to end it, which is could be a good thing.
So, no, I agree. I mean, the fact that we knew that these characters weren't around in the later films, it made you kind of cherish the time you had with them. But also, you knew that something was going to happen to all of them. So at any time in this movie, you knew that one of them could die. So it made you a little more on edge because you're like, oh my God, and every battle scene was awesome. And even the last battle scene, I mean, they're on this like tropical, beautiful, world, and they're just like just lighting each other up. So it was pretty cool. It says here that the Untitled show focuses on Rebel agent Andor prior to the events of Rogue One in the early days of the rebellion against the Empire. The show has been described as a spy thriller. When plans for the first were revealed last year, it was also previously announced that Luna would return as Andor, while Alan Tudyk would reprise his role as KTSO. That's his android sidekick, and he did an amazing job as his android. And I think he was the what they call it. He was a I forgot the name of the droid in terms of like what kind of droid he was. I'm
not too sure either.
Yeah, but I mean, he did it. Anyone in the chat, if you know the answer to that, please chime in. And speaking of which, in the chat, obviously,
it's a security droid.
Yeah, security droid, perfect. But yeah, Geeks Comics Entertainment's here. What's going on? Amshree's here. What's up, dude? Cisco, I know it's a bit late, but thank you for stopping by. AK, what's up, man? He's ready for the party. I like that. We got Ultimate Salmic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I see you all the time on Twitter. So thank you for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it. Cisco, Rogue One was better than Star Wars sequels. Yeah, I agree. You know, I actually thought that let me just close this for now. I actually thought that The Force Awakens was a good movie. I liked The Force Awakens. I didn't like how there was a lot of elements that were very similar to A New Hope. And I thought that they should have came up with something totally different. And I think that's why with Rogue One, why it was so successful is because it was a different side of the Star Wars story that we hadn't seen before in terms of how the story played out.
Definitely.
And like, obviously we all knew that there was going to be a big, battle at the end, but the way they got to that battle was good and was different. While the one thing that The Force Awakens kind of, in my opinion, kind of screwed up on was that, it was sort of predictable in a sense, but I liked a lot of the elements that they put in there, especially, how they introduced the character of Rey. You didn't know who she was. Obviously, she's on a desert planet, so that was kind of similar to Luke, which I'm not sure why they did that for, but they did. I mean, honestly, they could have made that planet a different, a different terrain, different atmosphere. I'm thinking, I can't even think of the word right now. It didn't have to be a sand planet. It could have been something else, and I think that would have been better because then it would have changed things up, and it wouldn't have seemed so similar to A New Hope. But I actually liked her character in The Force Awakens. Obviously, Last Jedi, that's a whole different story, but I like the elements that they set up because, there was a lot of mystery that was still involved in The Force Awakens. Where'd the lightsaber come from? Who are Rey's parents? Where does she come from? I mean, there was a lot of things that you didn't know yet. Even Finn, we didn't know where he came from. We didn't know where he was from. And so there was a lot of things that were in the movie that I liked. But looking back on it, Han Solo really carried that movie, Harrison Ford. And that's what made the movie so good, is that he played a major role in that film. And he brought back that kind of nostalgia, but he's a tough guy. So he just really saved that movie, in my opinion. But what did you think of The Force Awakens?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm 18, and like the prequels were pretty well established there when by the time I started remembering anything. But what I know for sure is that, at least with The Force Awakens, I do like how it started with these new characters, and how something with Star Wars is that, like, you always see the kind of super galactic side of things, and how how every little character and every little thing that they do is just so tied with like the fate of the galaxy that you never get to see the kind of like the other side of the coin, which you did get to see in a movie like Rogue One. And and well, like with like a Donnie Yen's character, he was blind and he was a kind of monk, but he still had a connection with the Force, even though he wasn't a Jedi. And showing that kind of, I don't know, different side of society, I feel like is a thing that they should have explored more, instead of like rushing Rey and Finn into the hands of Han and all the past glory and nostalgia, and then now they're just like basically the folk heroes in an instant,
right?
Like after a single day.
Yeah, exactly. But in the end, I thought it was setting up something a lot bigger, and then it ended up just kind of being a mess as the two films went on. So Cisco writes, agree. Too many elements from A New Hope that was used for The Force Awakens. Yeah, I agree with that. The third act of The Force Awakens was rushed, and killing Han Solo was too soon. Should have waited to kill Han in The Last Jedi. I agree, but however, I believe that Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off in the first one. I don't think he wanted to film more than just that one movie, but I think one of the things they missed out on was, they never got the three of them together again. And in the original trilogy, that was a big deal, was having the three of them together. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia. And they never did that. And you saw Han and Leia together, but and then you saw Leia and Luke together in that one scene, but you never saw all three of them together at one time, which I think that's kind of something that we missed out on, and that it should have happened. It's AK writes, talk with extended it all good. You guys are talking to each other. That's awesome. Rogue One was the best Star Wars from Disney. Yeah, no, it really was. It actually felt it didn't even feel like a Disney movie. That's what I liked about it, and it was more brutal too. Especially, what is it? They basically annihilate the entire city with the Death Star, and then I loved how in Rogue One, how that the explosion from the blast is coming towards them. They're all trying to get out of there, and they're having to run from this the explosion so it doesn't kill them. But then they also killed off Forrest Whitaker's character. I forgot his name, which I thought he was going to last longer than that, but they said just get rid of him. But so another thing that happened today, and this came courtesy of the Cultured Nerd, was what did I do that for? I actually clicked on the article instead of sharing it. That's not good. And this came from Grant Morrison. How the Flash film could have been the next Back to the Future, and I guess he felt there's a lot of elements of that in the script. In a recent interview with Collider, I don't like Collider. Legendary comic book writer Grant Morrison opened up about his unused script for the Flash. That was also co-written by the Flash's Ezra Miller. The duo teamed up for a little over a year to pen the script for the superhero film, but Warner Brothers ultimately decided not to move forward with it. That's what bothers me the most. But the thing is that what we don't know about is they knew that AT&T was going to buy them out, and they knew that Warner Media or that AT&T was going to take over. And so I know for a fact that they didn't want to invest in too many projects because they knew that they were about to head into a takeover, which means that people were getting fired, all kinds of stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's why this was not they did not move on this script. However, I also know for a fact that what's his name? Christopher McQuarrie, who was the director of their most recent Mission Impossible, that him and Henry Cavill had written a story or a script about Superman and Green Lantern, and they presented that, and they never heard back from WB. They just said they didn't want to move on that, and that was a direct result of knowing that the buyout was about to happen. And so they didn't want to do anything. And you can almost see it in the movies that came out. You had Birds of Prey that no connection whatsoever.
Right.
It was just, and I mean, frankly, I didn't really like the film. I thought it was, I don't know. I didn't like it at all. There were some scenes I thought were kind of cool, but overall, it was just, I wasn't really a big fan of it. Did you get a chance to watch Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I did get a chance. I watched it, I think, maybe the week after it came out, and I liked it. It was they were really trying to do that kind of I guess millennial kind of like edgy way of narrating a story, and the pacing was all over the place with rewinds and all of these like funny graphics and stuff, which to some people I guess could be really appealing, but it's personally not my thing. And and they did change Black Mask's character quite a lot from past depictions, which I didn't mind. Like, and Ewan McGregor is like such a good actor. I just wish that they would have. I wish they would have saved him, because I really think he could have done something a lot better.
And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, this was this was Harley Quinn recalling what had happened, so maybe she got it wrong." But I mean, that's still kind of like you never know if that's even what's going to happen, because I remember he gets thrown off the pier,
yeah,
and then
he has a grenade in his jacket, and
yeah.
What I thought was going to happen when I saw that, like right when Cassidy like pulled out the pins on the grenades, I thought he was gonna take off the coat like just in time where he's not dead, like ripped in half, but that like he's severely burned, kind of like Two-Face. I guess you'd say like that level of damage, and like the mask would be like totally like seared on his face, and then
or like he's massively disfigured, so now he has to wear the mask because he's like
and like he's so obsessed with kind of like status and like displays of like elegance, and he talks about how he buys such ridiculous things like the 1,000-year-old shrunken head that was actually a living person once, and now it's just sitting in his living room, and the Statue of David, at least what we thought was going to be it.
Yeah.
And having him to deal with like just totally getting mangled, I think that would have been a nice thing to go down, but they were not wanting to do it. And I also felt like the team didn't have too much chemistry.
No, they didn't at all.
And like Montoya especially, like I don't rip on the actor or anything, but she kind of felt like really out of place.
No, she did. And
then at the end she's like wearing a full get-up like in a costume and taking on like 200-pound muscular men,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying women can't be superheroes. They can. I like a lot of it, but I don't know. It got me really disconnected, especially.
Let me see if I can find there was a video that was out there where it was like these
in Victor Zsasz, I did like
that was cool.
Expanding the rogues gallery of Batman.
Yeah, I like that, but there wasn't really a strong, and this is due to the fact that they really didn't know where to go with they didn't know who was even playing the character at this point. But I really wish Batman was in the movie. That would have been cool to see him, or to even like have an element of him in the movie. But obviously they couldn't, because at the time they didn't have Ben Affleck. They had nobody.
I mean, they didn't. They could have still had the effects of Batman, because Batman is still a living, breathing character in this universe.
Exactly,
and he's gonna deal justice where he sees it. So maybe, I don't know, Victor Zsasz has a brand on his arm, or on his neck.
Yeah.
And
that wouldn't have been too much to put on there. I mean, he doesn't even have to reference it. Like, you could just see it and be like, "Oh, there he is!" Like he must have got him, or he ran into him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There was a video, and I can't seem to find it, where these stuntmen were watching Birds of Prey, and
I think that was Corridor Crew. The people that always do the VFX artist react and the stuntman artist react. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. And they really broke that down, and they were like, "Yeah, this is not." Let me see if I can find it in the meantime. But I thought it could have been a lot better of a movie. But then again, it's a Harley Quinn movie. But when you compare it to like the Harley Quinn show, to me, it's on two different levels. Like, it's nothing close to the show, and I thought the show was great. The Harley Quinn show.
Oh yeah. I started watching it. I think I'm on episode 5 of season 1. But no, I do like it. It's my jam.
All right, here we go. Let's check this out real quick. Hold on. We'll come back to Grant Morrison. and we're gonna go to this video because I actually like what they said about it because it was true, and I'm all about the truth.
Of course.
Let's see. What is that? That's not it. I'm doing a max right now. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's the only YouTube one I have opened up. So let's see.
This is a perfect example of something that looks good on paper. In reality, it's just god awful. Rosie Perez should never throw a punch ever. Works with Margot. She's actually very good. She does some stuff here that's pretty cool, but unfortunately, this movie doesn't show it.
What's up, Sickness?
None of these hits were like takedown hits, but they're all being acted as if they're takedown
Nothing
hits.
feels like it hurts.
Okay, here's what it is. It's like the stunt performers, these bad guys coming in, they're coming with 100% energy, and they're just going in for a flip, just for a fall. The actors are just throwing their legs out.
Stuntman's job is to make the actor look good.
Oh,
damn, I love that, man.
They're throwing mediocre kicks and punches, so the stuntman sells it and makes him look really powerful. But I think this scene is a great example of that going too far. The stuntmen are doing their best to sell these hits. They're doing flips and taking these crazy smashes. You're just not seeing that from the actor's side. Like, they're just not at all delivering the kind of hits to sell the reactions that the stuntmen are given.
They must have got tips from the Last Jedi school of fight choreography.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Eric,
That's a joke. But I did hear that didn't they reshoot that whole final Funhouse fight really into production, where there was no time to do some proper training?
I'm sure they did. I mean, that whole movie seemed and plus that was during the time where they were trying to push these movies that had smaller budgets so that the their run at the box office only needed so much money to make up for how much money they spent on it. So I know that film had a small budget compared to let's say BVS, where they were going fully invested in these movies. So I think it did suffer from having a smaller budget, but still, I mean, you don't always need a big budget to have a great story. And that one I thought just did not have a great story. Cisco writes, I hope Muschietti, however you say it, is also running the Flash movie with Hudson. Giving Hudson full control of writing the screenplay may not be a good idea. I mean, that's what they say, but at the same time, though, as a director, you could change all that. If you're filming a movie, you could say, okay, well, this is cool, but let's sort of change this up. I mean, he has control of his own movie. He's not tied down to what Christina Hudson writes. So I'm sure that they're collaborating on ideas and elements of the movie. So that's at least my take on it. And it looks like DC Extended agrees. He goes, right, Cisco. DC
Extended. I know he said hello to me in the chat. So.
Oh, did he? Well, let's go back and find that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's already there. It's fine.
Sickness said, "What's up to Amshri and Cisco?" And you guys, thank you so much for coming on here. I really, really appreciate it. And I do these streams at night because I work late. I get off late at night, and I just kind of felt like there is a crowd, there is an audience late at night that is available Now, Carlos, you're up really late, so I do appreciate you hanging around. I didn't think you were going to be here because you did say that, that you were going to try and stay up, and you're here. So I really, really appreciate that. I didn't think you were going to be here. And so when you popped up, I was like, all right.
Well, here I am. Yep. BVS? No. Okay. It's Batman.
Well, here I am.
Oh, I know.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
Kalel, no.
But the thing is that so the Flash movie is I'm really looking forward to this movie. What's up, Cuppy Malik? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. What's going on, man? He's saying what's up to Sickness. But so going back to the Flash movie, let me find that again. I don't have to share audio for that one. There's a share audio button when you use StreamYard, and if you don't hit it, it ruins everything. Because you go up to play something and there's no audio. You're like, ah. So Morrison talks a bit about how he and Miller tackled writing the script for The Flash. And while they were not able to get through many drafts, they both had a blast doing so. And rightfully so. I mean, I would have a blast writing this too. Although I don't write, I'm not a script writer, but still. So I believe this is Grant Morrison talking. He goes, yeah, I mean, Ezra and I wrote that last year, but kind of, what it's like. It was just one of those things. I thought we had a really good version of The Flash, and we wrote it as fast as The Flash because it was so demanding. And it was pretty good, he says. And I think after a few drafts, it would have been great. But the way some studios work, these things just don't come and go. I think about 15 people have already written versions of The Flash, but it does seem to be going ahead now, but not with the version that we did. I had fun. So basically, they wrote the script. They wrote it really fast, and they had a great time doing it, but the studio didn't go with it. But he talks about different elements. There they are hanging out. They're at like a clothing store. I don't know where they're at. Yeah. But he was talking about how it was more in line with Back to the Future, which is, I think, is really cool. It's a really cool element to put in, which means that there must have been an element to where he went back in time, and instead of just changing one thing, he must have interacted with his mother, or he must have done something where he was back in time doing things. Morrison writes, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know what they were doing with it, but it was pretty good. It was very different kind of superhero thing. It was more like Back to the Future, I would say, than a superhero movie. That's probably why they didn't go with it, because they were like, hey, this is more like a science fiction movie, or, which I absolutely adore Back to the Future. I absolutely love those films. Me too. As a kid, I used to watch them all the time. And I love part 1 and part 2. Part 3 is good, but part 1 and part 2 are, in my opinion, are just much better films compared to the third one. And it suffered from just being stuck in one era in the Wild West. Yeah. Part two, I liked a lot because they went to the future. So they were in the present, and they went to the future, and they went back to the past where they were in the first film, and they had those crossover scenes, which was really, really cool, which I'm assuming that's what they were kind of talking about in this Flash script. He also went on to say, because they were talking about how Ezra wanted it to be darker. And so he says, no, it wasn't darker, really. I mean, elements of darkness were there, and that material... in the material that they wanted us to use was the Flashpoint stuff. So it was obviously revolved around time travel, and I think it always has revolved around that. So Ezra and I were actually trying to do something that was a bit more, like I say, it's kind of just a great science fiction story. And when you write a story of science fiction as opposed to just having it be like a superhero movie, I'm sure that also kind of threw them off. Like, wait, what kind of movie is this? Is this really going to fit in? But at that point, they were so locked into the whole, Walter Hamada even came out and said that they're focusing on individual films as opposed to a shared universe, which I thought was a bad idea. But, even Omstri says, I'm worried about the Flash movie now, and I don't believe Christina. He doesn't believe in Christina. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I think, we got to give her a little bit of faith and, just see how it turns out. Cisco writes, for Birds of Prey fight scenes, it was underwhelming. Fight scenes don't just need good choreography. They also need they also need on-point editing. Yes, they do. I fully agree with you. Nolan's fight scenes in The Dark Knight Rises needed better editing. Well, and that's the thing. With Nolan's fight scenes, they weren't meant to be like the warehouse scene. It was he was more of, I remember he talked about how he wanted a fighting style to where, every blow that he would that he would put on an enemy, it had to count. So there was a lot of force behind each hit because he knew that over time he would not be able to keep this up. So he was trying to keep that real element in the movie for all three of his films. DC Extended writes, I'm sure if they don't like what they see, I think they'll change some things. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they're definitely going to do that. So, and the rest of the article kind of goes on. He says, I don't want to talk about that because somebody else has done their work on it, and I'm sure it'll be great. And maybe, as I say, one day people can judge. So, I mean, he kind of goes into a little bit and talks about, what they had come up with. And it sounds like it was a pretty cool idea in terms of having a Back to the Future element. And I mean, obviously, in my opinion, that means that he went back in the past and was there for, a good portion of the movie. And then maybe he went back to the present and it was different, kind of like how Marty goes back to the present and it's a whole different world that he's in. Biff Co runs everything. And that's probably something that he was going to run into, because based on the Flashpoint movie, the animated movie, and the comic as well, that's definitely what happened. So,
yeah, I totally think that the only way to do time travel would have to be the Back to the Future method, or you could probably go to something like Harry Potter or Terminator, where it's like completely cyclical and it just keeps on repeating over and over and over because someone is destined to go back again and again and again. But yeah, definitely not like the Avengers Endgame style of time travel, because then that's like no consequences and it's essentially not even time travel. It's just it's just parallel universe travel, because you're traveling to a universe that's almost exactly like yours, but then not really, and then it really doesn't make any sense, because if you are using the suit to go in, just, I guess, if the best way to think about it is just to fast forward time until you reach the time you want to go to, things will play out differently because you changed something. It's at least for in Endgame's case, it's lazy writing.
Yeah, that was one aspect that I didn't really like about Endgame. Well, there was a few things I didn't like about Endgame. The Professor Hulk I thought was a bad idea. Fat Thor was a bad idea.
I actually did a stream on Friday. That was my first stream because I'm trying to be a streamer too. And
really,
yeah.
You're on YouTube right now, or you have a channel?
Yeah, YouTube and Twitch. That one, Carlos. And I have about an hour and 50 minutes of me fixing Endgame and Infinity War, because that was the thing I had most on my mind and I have the most ideas for. Because and I was throughout the whole stream, I was actually discovering more things that was wrong with Endgame than what I initially planned for, and it was literally the funniest thing. I'm a DC head, but I do love Marvel, but they became so formulaic, and with DC, at least under Warner Brothers supervision, they became too kind of isolated, and there's a happy medium that you just got to meet that they're just like too afraid to delve into, I guess. Because if you don't have that connective tissue between movies, that kind of drives the I guess the story or the tone forward and the character arcs, so that they transfer cleanly between movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you look at like theatrical Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn is kind of like a different person.
Yeah. And she didn't need to be, but they made her a different person. She's much more dramatic, in terms of she was crying and she's all upset. And I agree with you totally.
So there is a happy little medium spot where you could be, where it's not too, I guess, I don't know the word. It's not too contrived, and then where it's not too loose, because that, I swear, each studio went to each extreme.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good idea by DC Extended. Let Catherine Bigelow do a DC movie. I mean, I think she could. I think she definitely has the talent, and I think it's a really cool idea. I mean, the Hurt Locker, I mean, that was such a badass movie. I love that movie. It was so good. but yeah, I definitely think that she has the potential to do a DC movie. I mean, I don't see why not. Her and David Ayer with Gotham City Sirens, and we'll see if that comes out, if that does come to fruition. I know that he was kind of working on that, but with everything that's been happening, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know DC fandom is gonna open the door for a lot of cool things. But going back to what Carlos was talking about with Endgame, now we're going into Endgame. Here we go.
I got it lined up. Go ahead.
Oh man, dude! The other day you came on Dawson's stream and you started talking about Endgame, and I was on my lunch break and I was watching the stream, and you started talking about Endgame, and I swear to God, you blew my fucking mind of what you were saying. I was like, wow, this is so good. Why didn't you write this damn movie? Because I'm telling you, there were so many there were so many things about Endgame that didn't correlate, or it just didn't feel right. Like Infinity War, I loved Infinity War. It had a lot of action. For one, it was also a darker movie as well. I mean, we saw characters, die. Obviously Thanos. It showed how he was much more. He seemed more brutal in that movie. But then again, I guess he was in Endgame as well. I thought he was a good bad guy for being like the ultimate bad guy. But in Infinity War, I thought he was scarier than he was in Endgame. But the time, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the problem with Endgame. You introduce your main or the big bad that you're gonna defeat in the climax. You introduce him halfway through the movie, and he's not even directly correlated with the characters in their current state.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect line to sum up that is when Scarlet Witch says, "You took everything from me," and he's like, "I don't even know who you are. I'm just trying to do my thing." It's like, why should we care about a villain like that? I got so many points to I could quickly rattle off some, and if you want to expand upon some, then fine. The Hulk storyline was completely butchered. We build him up in Ragnarok and Infinity War. With the reign of the Hulk in the brain in his brain in Ragnarok, and he was really becoming his own person, and he loved just being out and having the spotlight, and then in Infinity War he was I guess shamed when he was defeated by the hands of Thanos, that he was afraid to come out. So it's the rise and then the fall, and then you need the rise again. But you don't even get that because you skip right to oh my God, I hate when they say Smart Hulk. That's not his name, and you're kind of demeaning the Banner side of him by just calling him, oh, he's smart. That's it.
He's smart. He's Smart Hulk. He's nice Hulk.
Yeah.
But I thought he looked worse. Visually, he looked so fake. He didn't look like, he just didn't have it, and he looked too much like a cartoon character the entire time. Not to mention the extra scene they added for the re-release where he looked like Gumby. He was running around like, oh, hey. But and they made a ton of money off that re-release as well. But then again, people wanted to see it again in the theater. But going back to that time travel scene, it's like, so Ant-Man, he brings up the whole thing about the quantum zone, right?
Quantum realm, yeah.
Quantum realm. And he's saying how, time is different in there. Time moves slower. But then I really didn't figure out, and maybe I missed this, but I didn't quite understand how they figured out that, you can time travel through there.
Well, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, there's Janet Van Dyne. She brought up something called time vortexes, and once you get in them, they're inescapable. And you could probably safely assume that Scott was in one, because Janet was in the quantum realm for what, 30 some odd years, and yet she still didn't. She aged normally, so she went from being a middle aged to upper inner years after 30 years, even though she has quantum realm powers and stuff like that. So the way they would explain it is that you know, Ant-Man was stuck in a time vortex. The rat, oh my god, the rat saved the universe, and then released Ant-Man from his from the quantum realm. And then with the limited knowledge and I guess whatever research Tony Stark did, he found a way to utilize that to perfect time travel.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's the fact that it wasn't, I don't know, the way they presented it, I felt like they figured that out too quickly.
Yeah.
And I loved how, you know, Zack Snyder's version of time travel. And here, I think I have it right here. Do I still have it?
The planets need to be in the same kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that was that. I mean,
stranded.
yeah, when he first brought that up, I was like, "Holy crap, that's amazing!" And that's such a cool concept too, because you know, you think about it, you're like, "Hey, that actually makes sense." It has to be relatively in the same spot, otherwise, yeah, you're going to end up in space because you're not in the same position that you were then.
Like they kind of explained that away because the GPS is a time space GPS, so it also accounts for your space in time. What I didn't understand was one, Tony Stark becomes a quantum physicist overnight, but hey, he read like nuclear physics in Avengers 1. But what I don't understand is how at the end everybody was fighting to get to the quantum van, even though it's been proven to not be effective for time travel. When Scott tried to use it with Bruce Banner doing the test run, and he turned into a baby.
Yeah,
so that's already been proven to be ineffective. I brought all this up in the stream. Captain Marvel didn't have a spacesuit. She didn't have a time space GPS. I'll give her the spacesuit thing. Maybe she's powerful. She's powered by the space stone. I'd give her that. But yeah, she didn't have a time space GPS to go to the 3 specific times they took the stones from. So that literally made no sense and kind of pulled me out of the movie. Nebula acting like a fool, when she could have just like time travel. And I brought that up because I thought about that. She could have time traveled, into the future. She could have, gave her warning to Natasha and Hawkeye. And then when she noticed that she was being beamed up by Thanos' ship, she could have left. Thanos already scanned all her memories from the old from the 2014 Nebula, so he already knows the whole plan. He knows what's going down. He knows where Vormir is. Thanos could go to Vormir, confront Hawkeye like when he just gets the Soul Stone. Hawkeye is, scared. They kind of have that, that little showdown. Hawkeye, finds a way to escape, and he gets the time equipment from Black Widow's dead body. I mean, that so everybody keeps their, cleverness, and they don't have to, have those plot contrived story points.
So here's that segment that we talked about from SnyderCon.
Earth, and where Superman has succumbed to the anti-life, and where he and now with his ragtag band, and there was a few members of the Justice League that had survived to that world, and that they were fighting to try and so Batman's with the broken half a cyborg because it's only half of him because of whatever happened.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't the time travel clip that I thought it was, but still, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was in the same SnyderCon. That was actually the time that I became, like, I guess you could say, an avid Snyder supporter, because I kind of bought into all of the critics back in 2016. I mean, even in the beginning when I first saw BVS, like in my mind and in my heart, like when I saw Superman sacrifice, like the waterworks were coming out. I was feeling many feelings. But then, I go home and I look at the reviews, and people are just lambasting, just wailing on this movie for no reason.
It didn't make any sense. I couldn't believe it that it got that. And the thing is too is that the theatrical cut, they removed so much of the story, that connective tissue that made the story make more sense. And you can tell when you watch the theatrical cut, you can tell things are missing. And not to mention they altered the beginning of the movie, because in the Ultimate Edition, they have the whole the drone pilot, and that whole scene where they're talking about how they're going to bomb it, and then the soldiers are trying to get there. They cut all of that out.
Yeah, the woman that testified in front of Congress, that she was threatened by Lex Luthor and all that.
Yeah,
a super important plot point. So yeah, like I don't know why people like just lambasted him, but I kind of bought into that, and watching that, it kind of like opened my eyes, because I knew that something was there that I always found fondly, and there's the DC movies are just so rewatchable, man. Like I could always whenever I'm bored, I could just flip on Man of Steel, BVS, and just chill out, but it's nothing else like it.
Exactly. So we got Geeks Cosmics Entertainment. What's going on, man? And we have Sohan, who is muted right now. I don't know if he knows that or not. There we go.
Hey guys.
Yo.
Is my mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So,
okay.
Yeah, you're here. So I haven't talked to you in a while. I know that I went on one of Max's streams and you were on there as well. Oh, look at this, Sil Abdul. What's up, Sil? Up early, I guess, huh? Sil, and you guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sil Abdul Inc., please do so right now. Sil is one of my good friends. This guy, he's been with me. He's been there for me since day one of my channel. He's a great guy. Definitely subscribe to his channel. He has great shows like Coffee Talk and Free Time, and they're just really kickback, laid back shows where he talks about what he knows, talks to the fans. It's such a good show. You guys should definitely do it. Is it at? Oh, I'm sure he's.
He must be up because of all that coffee.
I know, yeah, all that coffee time. Because I think with him it is it's 4:14 in the morning.
Yeah,
so
here.
Yeah. What about you, Sohan?
Yeah,
Are you still there?
I'm from the UK, so yeah, I'm here.
Okay, how old are you?
Hello?
Yeah.
13.
You're 13. So unless I got your parents' permission, I can't have you on here, man, because we're talking about content that it may not be appropriate. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Okay.
What? That was the wrong one. There we go. So sorry, I have an age limit. I prefer anything over 18. But I do appreciate you, just coming on and wanting to talk with us. So. Oh, look at this. Oh, Sil is trolling already. He's like, get that sleep, man. And so there is an event coming up, and we've been trying to hype this event for a while now. And it's going to be the second coming of Crisis on Infinite Streams. We're going to do this for DC Fandom. Because DC Fandom, it's going to be the biggest event this year. Justice Con was already a huge success. This is going to be a nuclear success. It is going to be. I can't even describe how big this event is going to be. In fact, let me see. Do I have anything? No, I don't even have an explosion lined up that that I can play.
I was going to ask. Like, I heard that the schedule was going to come out today. Did that come out? Because I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Damn, so you work that early? Nice. I always like working early in the morning. And when I used to work early, it's nice to get off early and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. Like, nowadays I would be streaming, but obviously that has all changed. And also, not to go off on a tangent, but when you start a YouTube channel during a pandemic, it can be very challenging to find topics. So a lot of times, like, I'll start going into like like these crazy videos that I'll cover, just because there's not a lot of stuff to talk about other than Zack Snyder's Justice League, which we've talked about pretty much every show, because that's really what's happening right now, especially the new Steppenwolf. Have you guys seen that? I mean, it looks amazing. I'm so glad that we're going back to that old, the spiky fucker look.
Hell yeah.
Cosmics, what do you think about the new Steppenwolf?
I love it.
Yeah.
Look most areas in the Justice League well.
Yeah, Justice League one was pretty bad. I mean, and I was talking about this a few nights ago. When you compare this guy to this guy, I mean, it's a huge difference. I mean, this guy looks menacing. He looks terrifying. He looks scary. He looks like he's gonna kill you. He looks like he's gonna rip you in half.
Yeah. And the thing with his design in the Zack Snyder's Justice League is that he looks alien. Like, I mean, these people are that this invasion force, Darkseid, the New Gods, and all that. These are literal, beyond our comprehension. So they would look, spiky and super weird. So I really appreciate the really alien angle that they went down.
So let's see. Sil says that it's out already. The schedule. Hold on. Let me take this off the screen. This is kind of.
I didn't see it.
What's that? Oh, that's not it. Okay. So Sil said that it is released. He said, so this week's schedule is out. Are you saying it's out already? Like we can see it? Sil, if you're still there? And that's not even high res. Yeah, it's not high res. And he did it on purpose. He said, sorry, it's not high res. I mean, he's not going to give it away, this early. I mean, you can't even see his face. I mean, they're already hiding that. So, and you can see the Amazonians, behind him. It's the exact same scene as this one. And I've said it many times that this guy, he looks like he's, from Pirates of the Caribbean. He looks kind of goofy. He looks like a Disney version of Steppenwolf. Yeah, exactly. Very cheesy. I mean, hold on. Here we go.
The schedule will be out this week.
Oh, will be out this week. Got it. I can't wait for that because I want to see what the schedule is going to entail. And also, too, once we have the DC Fandom schedule, then we are going to put out the Crisis schedule because we're trying to build it around their schedule. We know that the panel is going to be 8 hours long at the Hall of Heroes.
Wow.
Now, we don't know how it's structured. And obviously, they're going to have panels that are, like CW. Oh, you know what? I got this damn thing up.
Yeah.
There we go. So they're going to have CW panels. They're going to have all kinds of panels there. So that's going to give us some time to go out and see the other aspects of DC Fandom. The different universes. So we are going to kind of expand out and check out those areas as time permits. But as of right now, I was hoping to get a graphic that I could show you guys about for the Crisis event, but the whole thing is scheduled. It's going to be scheduled around DC Fandom, but it's going to kick off at 7 a.m. Eastern time with subjective reviews. He's going to have Scott Fowler on his show. Then it's going to go to Film Gob, and he's going to have Sil, Lady Genevieve, and also Matt from Lightcast. Then we're going to go to Fatal J. He's going to have Skeletor on his show. I don't know if you guys have seen Skeletor, but this guy's a trip. He's hilarious too. What's this? Oh, it's not confirmed. He's talking about the Black Canary series on HBO Max. I mean, that would be really cool. And still, if they do move forward with the Black Canary series on HBO Max, is it going to be based on the Black Canary that was in Birds of Prey, or are they just going to redo the whole character? Because I mean, obviously, if they go with her, then they're kind of showing a connection to the universe, or they might just kind of reboot the whole character. I'm not sure what they're going to do. And so, if you know, you can drop it in the chat, and it's totally up to you.
Oh, is it going to be Atlantis for him? the Katie Cassidy spinoff that was supposed to happen.
Oh yeah.
The Green
So-
Arrows and Canary.
Yeah, no, definitely. Amshi writes, who's he talking to? Jason. They were getting that soul stone from planet Vormir in space, right? Was that in Endgame? They were literally fighting on the planet.
No, they weren't fighting on the planet. That was my idea to make it better. But yeah, they did get the soul stone on planet Vormir, and that was an Endgame. It was in both Infinity War and Endgame.
So Still writes, it's pitch phase right now, nothing more. And yeah, that would make sense. I mean, it's still it can't be very deep into any kind of production at this point. They're just basically throwing the ideas out there and seeing what sticks. But another article that came out today by the Culture Nerd, who I absolutely adore and love these guys. Let's see, was Robert Pattinson attempted hiding his Batman audition from Christopher Nolan. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but yeah. Oh, you have seen it. Awesome. In a recent interview, Irish Times, Robert Pattinson revealed that he tried hiding his audition for Batman from director Christopher Nolan on the set of Tenet, which I cannot wait to see this movie.
Yeah, it's been way too long. We're waiting too much.
It's driving me crazy.
Nolan's just too traditional that way. He's scared of streaming, and you know what? Like, I understand. Like, something like Tenet, it deserves to, and with the director with the the same caliber as Nolan, it deserved to be out on the big stream on IMAX. You know,
it definitely does.
And I know if like they were able to release it, it's like hotcakes. But
oh yeah, I mean, streaming wise, I mean, yeah, if you made it like $30 and you can watch it for 24 hours, people would definitely pay that. But but they want that box office money. And I don't blame them because Christopher Nolan is all about the sound. He's not so much into special effects as much as a lot of other directors, but he's really into, like, he loves having this amazing soundtrack and sound effects, and he feels that that's a great way to immerse the audience in the film. And you can see all his films, auditorily are just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It really get like it's like he creates like a different atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of sucked into the movie, especially Inception. When I was watching Inception, that was great.
Dark Knight was amazing.
Yeah, Dark Knight was really amazing. Inception was really good, and also Interstellar. I actually loved that soundtrack because it added that element of fear. Or it almost made you nervous or have anxiety because you're like, oh my god. And like they said, I forgot the exact line, but they went to that planet and they said every 15 minutes is like 6 years or 7 years on Earth. And so they're like, all right, let's just fly down there really quick and see what happens. And then obviously their friend dies or whatever. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nolan is he's actually not a major detractor from VFX and like and CGI, but he knows how to utilize it very, very effectively, even though it might seem he might use it sparingly, because like the Dark Knight with Two-Face's CGI that was done beautifully. And with Interstellar, like, I actually learned about this, that Nolan, or at least the crew behind the movie, were actually hiring like mathematicians and physicists to develop a program which would actually render the black hole used in that movie. And
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, it was a big thing. And that movie, Interstellar, actually like led to developments on how like black holes control light, and the first ever time that we knew that light bends in that kind of like circle like around the top half of the black hole, while also like expanding outwards. The first time we learned about that was with the people working on Interstellar.
See, that's cool, man.
Yeah, so no, that, like Interstellar and its visual effects were very, very innovative.
Sil, thank you so much for coming on, Sil, or just being in the chat. I really appreciate it. And yeah, peace out, man.
Peace.
Wait a minute. All right, gotta finish my shift. Is he already at work? I thought he was going to work. I'm telling you, Sil, he is a man of mystery.
Wow.
All we know is he puts out that work.
Exactly. I was trying to see what he. Oh yeah, he's still at work. I thought he was ready to go to work. Oh my God, Sil.
He does the graveyard shift.
He must do on Coffee Talk, bro. Yeah, his shows are really good. So
I helped with his music.
Did you really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You did. I thought it came out really good.
Thanks.
Let's see. So in this article, he talks about how he tried to keep it from him. And he says, I had to be really secretive about Batman stuff. So I had to lie to Chris about having to go for a screen test. I said I had a family emergency. And as soon as I said that, it's a family emergency, he said, "You're doing the Batman audition. Onto you." Of course he knew. I mean, there's no way that he didn't know. I'm sure they contacted him and said, "Hey, by the way, he's coming in for an audition." I mean, they can't just take him off a set and be like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't tell you about that." But it's still pretty cool, though. And this whole, the costume for Robert Pattinson's Batman, I love the collar, and that's something that you don't see very often lately, especially is him having that collar. And the cape looks cool, and he is armored, which is a pretty cool aspect. But the cowl, it looks handmade. I don't really like it as much. It kind of reminds me of Catwoman from Batman Returns.
It actually reminds me a lot of Daredevil, especially in season 3 with when Bullseye was using the suit. I don't know, like that jaw and the way the cowl bolts around his face, especially because the eyes are blacked out and you don't actually see his eyes. It's I just think it I don't think it fit, and the ears are way too thin. But I'm not a fashion designer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, go ahead.
The suit looked like from Gotham by Gaslight a bit.
Yeah, it does, huh? And he had that kind of collar too in Gotham by Gaslight. Let's see. And then the last thing that I was going to bring up was, and this is kind of a cool thing that somebody did, was they took the Justice League Doom poster and they adapted it to the current DCEU characters. Let me pull this one up. I did it again. Here we go. I say I'm going to pull it up, and then I actually click on the tab without sharing it. I'm like, oh, man, that's good. And Carlos, I want to let you know I subscribe to your channel, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
And make sure you do the same for me.
Oh, I've been done that.
Oh, nice, thank you.
I just joined YouTube like 4 months ago.
And there it is. Now that is cool. So, and that's the same cover that they use for Justice League Doom. And now they applied it with the actual characters from the DCU.
When was this made?
I think it was today. That's when it was posted, at least. This is
I mean, it looks really, really nice.
What's this on my wall?
Okay, so there we go. So there's the cover of, and I can't get this damn thing to fit in the screen. And if I click on it, it takes me to Instagram. I haven't logged in yet, so I'm not going to do all that on the screen. But it was made by Apex Form. He's the one who did it. He's got 7,000 followers. Oh, man. Well, he does some pretty cool work. But so that's the original cover of the movie. And then there's wow, that is so good.
Ben Affleck looked like Batman, like.
Yeah, and he actually used the cowl from Justice League as well. because
Yeah,
that,
it has that kind of like the difference around the temples. You know, it's kind of more angular.
yeah, and the eyes are a little different too. I actually like the BVS suit. I actually didn't. I didn't really like.
I do prefer that too.
Yeah. It's one thing to change the cowl, but when you change the color of the suit and you change, all of that, it doesn't, to me, it was just unnecessary, because you had to really establish that, here's a Batman that has been here for 20 years. He has this awesome suit, and then now he has a new suit that's not as cool. And like those little paddings that they added like on the abs, like, is that really going to make a difference?
The suit is also too blue. At least with all the lighting that they were using. Like, I mean, I trust Zach that with all the color correction and stuff like that, it's gonna look good, from any angle. But I don't know. It just, and it felt so rubbery too.
Yeah, it really did.
But
it kind of had like this like this kind of shine to it in a sense. It didn't look, just kind of, the BVS suit had just kind of like a matte, or even that. It was just like just a textured finish, and that was it. It didn't, the new suit, like you can see on the cowl, it sort of like reflects light, and I don't like that. I prefer more like that matte finish. But we'll see. Like you said, when Zach does his lighting and his color grade, it may actually look extremely cool. I mean, we saw that, with Superman suit, it looked like crap on Justice League. But he even said, Zach said that they basically designed that suit so that he could go back and change it to a black suit at a later time. So he said, okay, because the studio didn't want to do a black suit Superman, which is just like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, I really, we can go on for hours about that, but it's oh god.
It made total sense to have him in the black suit, and lore wise and whatnot. I just feel like it was the WB, and I especially John's. They just really wanted the first Justice League movie to properly, I guess, represent what the League is supposed to be. So that's why they rushed it so much.
Well, thank you, Sohan. I appreciate you, coming on. I'll wait 5 years. Yeah, I'm sorry about that too. Yeah, I just have a certain age limit that that I have for the show, and I just try to abide by that. Just to keep everything consistent, and that's all. But thank you so much, and I'm glad you enjoy the content that I'm putting out. I try and come on as much as possible to talk with you guys and hang out with you guys, because I just love coming on and just talking and just doing what we're doing now. To me, this is so much fun, and I just love it. And I just have a great time. And I hope you guys do too. Sickness writes, "That's hella tight. I haven't seen this picture yet. It's fucking dope. It is. It's his badass picture." And Sickness is also on. What's that?
I want to hang that up on my wall.
I know. I want to get a poster of that. I'll put it right here. I actually have 2 posters coming in. They're BBS posters, so I'll have those up pretty soon, because this is a new studio for me. So this is actually my studio now. Is in a separate structure outside of my house, and it was here when we bought the house. It actually used to be a grow room. They used to grow marijuana in here. A previous owner, but it's a fully finished room. It has drywall, insulation, everything. So out here I could be like as loud as I want, and I don't bother anybody. When I was in my house, my wife was like, "Oh yeah, the kids can kind of hear you." Like, "Oh, sorry," So out here it's so much better. And I have my own air conditioner. It's great. I have a fan, I have lights.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. I'm never talking about myself now.
That's the life, man. Having the man cave.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what they said that this should have been in the first place. Like, yeah, you should put up a TV, you can watch the game. But I was like, well, there's no cable connection out here, and what I mean, it'd be hard to kind of do all that. But I got this to work, so everything, that's all working out great. There's a ton of outlets in here, but the power isn't running in here. Like, I have to run extension cords to a vent, and then that's how I power everything on. But you'd never know that unless I told you, and I just did. So
The jig is up.
The jig is up. No, I said too much.
Hell no.
I know. I should have stopped. But so those are all the topics I have for today. Actually, there was another topic that I forgot to bring up. What was it?
The Tron movie.
Yes, thank you. So Tron 3 was basically announced today by Jared Leto, and he had a tweet that he put out there. Let me see if I can find it. Where when he was talking about Tron 3. Oh, I'm typing the word tweet. Leto. Jared Leto. If I can find it, I'll bring it up. But here's his Twitter. And I'm pretty sure the Morbius. That's not. Oh, here it is, right here. Let me share that too. And this is this one here. So he says, I'm struck with such gratitude for the opportunity to bring this movie to life, especially as both the original video game and the film affected me so deeply as a young child. The fact that I get to be a part of this new chapter is mind-blowing. Now, did you guys see Tron Legacy?
Oh, full transparency. I never watched any Tron movie.
The original Tron was incredible. Tron Legacy I thought was good, but it had some of its kind of shortcomings. But I thought it was all right. I didn't hate the movie. What did you think, Cosmics?
I enjoy it. I only saw the sequel, but I need to go back to watch the first one. But I recommend the animated series, which was really good.
He also wrote this too. I'm very excited and proud to confirm, yes, I will be starring in Tron. We will work as hard as we possibly can to create something that I hope you all will love. You will all love me. We have some very special ideas in store for you, or for you all.
Is this gonna be a reboot, or
I don't know?
He didn't give any subtitle, or I guess it's not official yet. I mean, he could have just said the Tron project, but
right. Well, according to Randolph, she said it was Tron 3.
Okay,
that's how she presented it on her stream today. That it's Tron 3. What is this? Oh, here's South Cali guy asking questions already. And this is another thing too is that
Disney Plus.
You think maybe it will be on Disney Plus? I mean, I don't see why not.
Is Tron owned by Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
And that's yeah. See, Cosmics confirmed it. You heard it here. It's owned by Disney, and I'm pretty sure it is. They actually Disney has a Tron ride. I think it's at I know they have it at I think it's Disneyland in Tokyo. Yeah, in Japan. And the ride itself is incredible. I was going to end this after an hour, but now I'm all excited about this. So you guys, I'm going to show you one more thing. I keep saying that, but then I keep going.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I feel bad because you're up so late. Both of you are. I'm like, God.
I work weekends. I'm a university student. I work weekends, not weekdays.
Okay, so you're good. You're good.
I'm good.
Let's see. The Tron ride. Okay, so this is the ride. Now check this shit out. Let's see. Can you guys see this? Okay. No, I'm not even sharing it with you.
We don't see.
I'm looking at myself. Yeah. Here we go. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Here.
There's a line to make it slow enough.
Is that loud enough?
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Is it too loud or is it good?
No, it's good. It's a good level.
I mean, look at that.
For a second, I thought the the ride had 3 tracks, but that was just a reflection.
So in Tron, they have these races where it looks like this. And what is she saying?
Anybody can translate it.
Let me see. Oh,
Just
I mean, look at that. Holy crap.
Wow.
Oh, even the uniforms. Oh, I thought those lights were on the uniforms.
See, I think this is the problem of having this in the U.S. is that you have to get on like that. And they're probably like, this is a liability issue. What if you're already hurt? You know, what if you got a broken arm or you have a bad shoulder? Are you gonna be able to sit on that?
Back.
Yeah, you're back. But I mean, shit, I would do it right now. I mean, look at this thing.
Disney World is having one pretty soon.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And this is a ride.
Yep.
Oh, I love that mirroring.
Yeah, that's cool. Holy shit. Oh, it's a roller coaster.
I would never go on that.
How did he film this? He must have had a selfie stick or something.
I think it has to be GoPro. Because those hands have to be on the handles, so he probably is like wearing it on his chest or his head.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was intense.
Wow.
You know, and I've been to Disneyland too,
Yep.
and I've never been on anything like that. Yeah, that was pretty fucking crazy. Oh my god. So yeah, Tron 3 is gonna be coming out, and you know, just to hear all these different articles that came out today about the Rogue One story or Cassian series, talking about Tron 3 now. It's just good to hear other stuff coming out. But honestly, I can't wait for DC Fandom. Like I said earlier, the schedule we're going to release soon. Once we get the official schedule for DC Fandom, then we'll have the official schedule for Christ on Infinite Streams. And essentially, every big event that comes out, especially surrounding DC, we're going to be right there covering it. And the thing that I like so much about this is that, yeah, you're going to have and you're going to have, you know, the bigger guys like, you know, I'm sure Collider and all them, they're going to be covering this as well. But we're making our own presence be known that we are fans covering this for fans. And we want to be there with the fans as they experience, you know, these panels and be there as we all experience it together. And that's the idea behind Christ on Infinite Streams, is that we're doing this together as a fandom. And that was why I created that's why I created Christ on Infinite Streams, is because I wanted a way to bring together fans, YouTubers, everybody, and create something that we can all do together and have fun at the same time. So I hope you guys tune in. It's going to be really cool. Like I said, Subjective Reviews is going to. Oh, thank you. Subjective Reviews is going to start off. Then it's going to go into Film Gob, and then Fatal J will be the pre-show right before the event, and then we go right into the watch party. And I'll be hosting the first leg of the watch party, as far as we know, at least in terms of, like, you know, how we're going to set this up. So I'll be going for 2 hours, and then we're going to go over to Ryan's channel, which is Zeverfet. We're going to his channel for another 2 hours. Then we're going to jump over to Dawson's channel, which is nerdy in many ways, for another 2 hours or so, and that's going to be at the ass end of the Hall of Heroes panel. So everything Zack Snyder, all that stuff should probably be going on at that time, which is going to be very, very exciting. I've already told my wife that I will not be available as a husband or father that day. And she understands. She understands. She goes, "Hey, this is your thing." So, and plus, I told her, I set it up. I have to be there, and I was there for Justice Con as well. With Justice Con, I was the first show, and so I had to start my stream at 4 a.m. Pacific time, so it was 7 a.m. on the East Coast. And imagine right now if you had to host a show. I had almost 200 people watching me at one point, and I've never had that. I have 13 right now, and it's like, oh, whatever, we're having a good time. But when you have almost 200 watching you, I was like, wow. And so I stopped staring at that number. I was like, just focus on your show. Luckily, I had a lot of guests, so the more guests you have, the easier it is. If I was doing this alone, like if you guys weren't here, this would have been over already. I've already talked for the longest is like 45 minutes to an hour. I would have been like, all right, I'm gonna go. But look at it. AK's like, I hate Disney. I went to Disneyland last year and we went all out, an all-out trip. And I think it cost us somewhere around like $7,000 total. But it wasn't just out of my pocket, it was like multiple people of our family. And it was when you do it that way, Disneyland is incredible when you have a lot of money to spend. If you don't, it's still fun, but it's just different. So definitely I love Disneyland. And like you were saying, Carlos, I'm also a big fan of the MCU. But the DC films definitely stand out more. I mean, they're just stronger films. BBS and Man of Steel are just beautiful films to watch. There's just so much to them, and I love how even years later, we're still like peeling away different parts of it and discovering more about these films.
Like I actually just discovered like earlier today that the framing of Superman to the public and like to some of the public, and then the other half of the public, which Batman represents, which is like the kind of like the cynical kind of skeptic type. Because when Superman was hovering in front of the sun over the people in the flood, and then Superman hovering over Batman in the storm with lightning, crashing in the back, and it's showing that kind of like dual-sided nature of I guess the opinion on Superman.
Oh, look at this. He goes, you remember VK from the last Midnight Run? That was my bro. Is that like your buddy or your brother? Because I thought it was somebody else. And so I went on Twitter and accused a friend of mine, Ascended Ancient, because I thought it was him hiding his voice, but apparently it wasn't, unless he's your brother. And anyway, him and I got into like a DM war. I mean, we're having fun, and he was trying to interrogate me. All of a sudden, I was like, "Dude, stop!" I was like, "You're making this weird." We were labio. I don't know what that word is. When everyone thought he was ascended.
Lamau. I think he put B instead of M.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, laughed my ass off.
Everyone thought it was ascended, and then it's actually his brother. Okay, so that makes sense. And so he actually went back and listened to that himself, and he was like, "That sounds nothing like me." And I was like, "Dude, it sounds like I thought it was you hiding your voice." So I don't want to hear it, dude. And at the time, I was like, "Not cool," because I thought it was him, but it wasn't. So it's all good though. I had a good time with that one. So we're coming up to the end of this. I hate Disney too, but I was trying to be nice. So
Disney's not bad, guys. They just own everything.
Yeah, they just own everything. But no, the other day when you were talking about Endgame, yeah, I definitely agree that there were some things that they could have made better, and you had some really good stuff that would have made it better, and some of your ideas, they weren't just like kind of, you know, one pointers like, hey, they could have done this or they could have done that. Like, they were deep and well thought out ideas. And if you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the one Carlos, his channel, and check out that video, because I'm sure I haven't seen it yet, but if it's anything like what you were saying on Dawson's stream, then it'll blow your mind. It's such a well thought out idea and analogy. I was just like, man, this is incredible.
It's very nice of you. Yeah. Yeah. It's like my thing is just, you know, it's deriving from the comics, but, you know, also making something your own, and also not digging yourself into a hole, because that's what they did. They had no attempts to reach into the greater, you know, MCU, and I guess that's probably because they didn't even know what they were doing after that, because like the Fox deal was closing, they were going to acquire characters, but yeah, it's like just like a lot of people say, it's a very like hard stop, and then leads to a soft reboot with what they're doing with Phase 4.
Yeah, Sickness says that's what I don't like. They own everything. Like they're trying to subtly take over the world. I know. I honestly think that they are going to take over the world, and
at least Hollywood.
At least Hollywood.
No shit.
Seriously, they're going to take over. They're going to take over. So we're coming up on 2 a.m. my time, which is 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 a.m. your time.
Almost 5, yeah.
And so tomorrow I have a big day where I have to drive, and I have to take my wife to her doctor's appointment, and then we have all this crap lined up. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this show. Thank you so much for coming on here. I enjoyed having both of you on here. And Sohan, thank you for coming on, even if it was for 10 seconds. And everybody in the chat who gave us their comments. Sickness, as always, thank you so much. AK, DC Extended, Amshri, you were here earlier. Ray Ray's Collection was here. Deathstroke the Terminator. And this is the thing, you guys. And still, thank you so much. You were here earlier as well. Now you're still working, which is a little bit insane. Cisco was able to stop by. Jason Alves was able to stop by as well. Actually, you know what? Real quick, who was it? Jason had something that he posted, but we had already moved on. And so I was like, oh, no. Where is it? What is this? What did Amshi write? They were literally fighting an alien planet and any kind of oxygen support. That was something when they were on Thanos' homeworld.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah,
I have no idea that their world was completely destroyed. Their atmosphere must be tear destroyed.
Yeah, I mean he brought a moon down. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't have any kind of lasting effects, radiation, anything. But I mean, yeah. But you know what? Yeah, it's a movie, and so at that point they were just like, come on. But I get what you meant. Somebody said that they had a thing about Back to the Future, and I don't know where the hell it went. Was it all the way up here?
I don't know.
Oh, here it is.
All I know is that they were just ripping on all those time travel movies. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's wrong. That's wrong. This is right.
Oh, here it is. Back to the Future still doesn't make sense to me. How does George McFly not recognize? I think he's saying how does George McFly not recognize the guy who changed his life, and his mother didn't recognize the first guy she fell in love with? Yeah, but you got to remember though, when you get older, which I'm older than you guys are. After a while, when you try to think back to people that you met, you don't remember them especially back then.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have cell phones, we have Facebook. Back then we had MySpace, all this shit.
And you've only known this person for what is it, a week?
A week, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, he was incredible, such a great guy. I wish I would have had a picture of him, but
yeah, there are little inconsistencies with Back to the Future, but I think overall they did it very well.
You know,
because it was a pioneer. It was a pioneer movie. Like no one ever. Done that.
Oh yeah. So Deathstroke Terminator writes, "Did you see the guest list for DC fandom that Prime made?" No, I didn't see that. If you have it, send it to me on DM because I want to see what he did. You know, Prime is a good friend of mine. Prime is cool as shit. I love that guy. And I don't make it enough to his streams because for some reason, every time he streams, I'm in the middle of like a project at my house or we're out with the kids doing stuff. And I'm just like, I'm always in the middle of something when he streams. Or he had a stream once and I went and at the same time, I was going to stream with Ryan and Dawson. So I'm streaming with them. I'm like, oh no, Prime's on at the same time. And so I wasn't able to make it over there. I was like, damn it. It never lines up. But when it comes to DC and Zack Snyder movies, they nitpick every single thing. Yeah, it makes you wonder if Disney's paying these guys off to nitpick the shit out of his movies because it doesn't need to happen like that. It doesn't. I mean, these movies are incredible. I mean, when you look at the scenes that came out of that movie, it's you couldn't ask for a better version of Batman, Superman. I mean.
I understand.
I mean, it's even shit like that. You're just like, wow. And then I had a clip that I was gonna play because I know it's getting late and all.
It's also like when they come up with nitpicks for Batman v Superman or any kind of DC Snyder movie, like they always go back to this isn't in line with the comics. This is not comic accurate. When the MCU, which I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them praise. Hasn't been entirely faithful to the comics either.
No, they haven't. And they've kind of done their own thing. Wait, I can't send you a DM on Twitter. You don't have what? What's the letter logo? Oh,
you mean the mail sign?
Oh, okay. I thought my DMs were open to anybody, but maybe they're not. Let me see. Is that your Twitter name? Is Deathstroke Terminator? What is it? Is it Death? Is that what it is? Deathstroke the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
At gonna terminate. Oh man. All right, there. I followed you. You better follow me back and subscribe to my channel, please. And I'm also on Twitch and Periscope. So this is the first stream where I've done all three. Unfortunately, nobody has actually been on Twitch or Periscope in the chat.
Actually, on my first stream, I got 2 Twitch viewers, but they one of them was a troll, a self-confessed troll. They were like, "Oh, I just go to low viewer streams and spam them with like some meme or something."
Oh, great!
I only did a test.
Hey, but they actually did stick around and they asked a few questions, so I was happy to have them. But nobody on YouTube or Periscope, but not just YouTube. But yeah.
No, what do you mean no? Oh, no letter logo. That's what he meant to say. Batman from Krypton. What's that? My question: since Endgame's release, what was the point of hyping Hawkeye in Endgame, only to be a sidekick once again, and only have half of RDJ and Evan's screen time? Well, I mean, you had to fit all those characters into one movie.
Oh my god, that's another thing. Hawkeye's whole arc with the movie, which is I guess basically the most of an arc that he's had in these movies, was one of redemption, because he fell so far away from what he used to be. So that act of sacrificing himself would have I guess came full circle. But then you can't have the Disney Plus shows, and maybe they just wanted to be go against expectations. But yeah.
For some reason, my Twitch stream is not working, so I got to figure that one out. Oh, you know why? Because it has an old account name.
Is Matt Jarbo here?
I know Matt Jarbo's here. Of course he is. So, oh shit! I was about to end the stream too, but here he comes. It's the one, the only Matt Jarbo. okay? You all right? Shake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know why the fuck I'm here. I think I just need to like talk to somebody who's in like a normie person and not what I've witnessed tonight, which has been wild.
What happened?
Let me take you guys on a quick tale.
Uh-oh.
I'll be quick, I promise.
Okay.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So there was an event tonight that's disgusting beyond all compare. So what you have is you have an alt-right podcast host who has been engaged in a relationship with an 18-year-old, right? They're both of legal age. He's 34, she's 18. But the internet's been giving him a hard time about the age difference between the two of them. So her ex-boyfriend decided tonight to start dropping his DMs with her, claiming that they're still together during this time she is living in Virginia with this podcast host. And while he was live streaming all of these DMs, he got a message from this podcast host with a link he should not have clicked, because it linked right to a 5-minute homemade adult film of this podcast host and this girl that this guy is defending. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm being like very surface level because I don't know how far. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you find this?
Oh, it's people that I know.
You called this live?
This all was live. Yeah. Yeah. The guy clicked
gosh.
the guy clicked out of the stream like within the first like 2 seconds. But the thing was, he brought it up and he had the link like on the screen. So everyone just grabbed the link.
Oh no.
And they went right to, like, I did the same thing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm like, okay, like I got it. Like, you know how it is. You see a train wreck or, you know, whatever. I'm like, I got to see how bad this is. And I found the link and I clicked on it and I was like mortified and shocked and horrified and terror and any word I can use to describe the events of what I witnessed, which I can honestly say I've seen ISIS beheadings that were less terrible. It was just, it was in like, the thing is, this guy, if you want to talk about like enemies on the internet, this is like my mortal enemy on the internet. And I've now seen him engage in coitus, and it's just like,
This is not.
It's crazy. Welcome to the internet.
Is this somebody that I've seen before, or is this somebody that's no? Okay.
Nah, it's on the other side. You guys are just up. That's why I was like, I got to tell someone about this. It's not connected.
It's on the dark web.
It's not on the. Oh no, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You've got people spreading. Like, the thing is, like, this dude. Let me ask you guys this, because there's like, you know, 3 other guys in here, people that are watching. You know, I understand wanting to own the ex-boyfriend. I get all that. But when you are not, you know, as equipped as, let's say, someone like Ron Jeremy, you may not want to put that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now they've taken screenshots, and now they've turned them into PNGs, and they've made GIFs, and they've made memes, and they are sending them everywhere. And I mean, legitimately everywhere.
Wow.
This is what the world can do to you in the world of social media.
There's almost no recovering from that.
So
there's no recovering.
So the moral of the story is, keep talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, because it's quite frankly the only safe place you could go left on the internet.
I know. Well, I mean, we talked about some of the news that came out today, which finally, you know, there was actually some news. You know, Jared Leto confirmed Tron 3. Yeah, he's going to be in that movie, and that they're moving forward with that project. We talked about
the Disney Plus Star Wars project.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a new Disney Plus Star Wars project?
Yes, it's gonna. Yeah, Cassian.
The casting, the woman from
what's she from?
6 Underground.
Yes.
Yeah,
and she's gonna play. Grace Randolph was saying that she's gonna play his sister. I don't know how she knew that, but damn, that's fucking sad. Look at that.
It's one of the I think the Tron news is interesting, and I really I do want to see Cassian Andor quite a bit. So
yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a cool movie, and they say it's gonna take place, you know, at the very beginning of at the creation of the rebellion, which I think would be really cool because it's going to show how their galaxy is basically being repressed by the Empire. So it should be a darker series in terms of they're not living like in a peaceful time.
I wonder if they're going to connect that to the Mandalorian with with Cara Dune, Gina Carano's character, because she was a shock trooper.
Wasn't she fired from the show though?
No.
Shoot.
No.
I thought
people tried getting her fired.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So what it was is she posted a tweet with an image of of this guy who is like this German guy during World War II that refused to do like the Nazi salute, and like she like circled that guy, and then they wanted to cancel her because she was like, Nazis are bad. Like that's what it was. Like it was the stupidest thing I'd seen, but people were like, all these little troll accounts were just trying to spam her and call her a racist and get her canceled.
That's crazy. Well, a good example of this is in that new movie on HBO Max, American Pickle. Have you seen that, Matt?
No, I haven't had the chance yet.
So they touch on that quite a bit about how you could say one thing and everyone's like, "Oh, I hate you" on social media and all that. But then all of a sudden you can say something else and they're like, "Oh yeah, we love you. Yeah, you're great." It's really funny. Oh, you know what? Sickness keeps bringing this up. Yeah, there was something about DC layoffs, and DC Universe layoffs. I mean, they're going to dissolve DC Universe. It's going to be gone pretty soon. I don't see any reason why it still exists, other than the comics subscription, which I think is really cool. But I don't have time to read that many comics as much as I would love to. But I would imagine by next year, DC Universe will just not exist, and it may turn into something else, or it's just the comics alone. But I don't see it becoming anything more than what it was already. I feel confident saying that it's on the way out.
Oh yeah, I've been saying that for a while, ever since HBO Max was announced.
Yeah,
and then you started hearing like, oh, Doom Patrol's going over to HBO Max, and then it's like Harley Quinn is going to Sci-Fi, and then now it's on HBO Max. It's like, yeah, it's done for.
Yeah,
but,
that was the beginning of the end.
What I was hearing today though was that Jim Lee, because you hear about Jim Lee is like moving into more of a creative role.
That was the other topic that I was trying to remember. I was telling
that's big news because that basically means DC Comics is kind of dead. Like if they move Jim Lee out as the publisher, then it's like it's kind of gone. I mean, like AT&T. Well, like I'm hearing a bunch of stuff like through rumblings on my end about like how AT&T is not digging this multiverse idea that everyone's talking about. I don't have specifics on it, but I'm hearing it ain't meshing well because it's just too many. It's too confusing. That's what I'm hearing. It's too confusing. And if you don't read, keep in mind, I like to bring this up. I'm not a comics guy. I'm a movies guy.
Right.
So it's like I always look at it from like what's the best way to tell the story. And a lot of you as cool as it would be for DC fans and the multiverse fans to enjoy all this, an average person in Kansas isn't going to know what the hell's going on. And since you need them to know what the hell's going on, that's why Marvel works so well. Yeah, it's an episodic series, but it's episodic with canon. And people like canon, despite what fucking Gizmodo will tell you. The average person doesn't want to overthink it. They just want to have fun with it. You know?
Exactly.
So it's like if DC is trying too hard, if they again, as soon as I was hearing like this Keaton, Flash cameo, and then it was like he's going to show up multiple times, and I was like, well, what is their plan here? What is their end game? It's like I'm not saying you have to stick with the Snyderverse. That's personally what I want. But you could go different directions and have some fun with it, which they've kind of already done. But it's still, I mean, if you look at the fact that like Shazam and Aquaman, Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey are kind of outside of the Snyderverse, but they still run parallel to it, so you could easily have them crisscross. Like that's not a problem. But if you start going to like different worlds, different Earths, different dimensions, whatever, and multiversing it up, then it starts becoming confusing if you bring in the Arrowverse and then you bring in like Titans or Doom Patrol. It gets a little confusing for people.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they're not like in Doom Patrol, you have a separate cyborg, so you can't just be like, oh, it's, they're all in their own little universes, which I think is cool because then it gives them the freedom to do whatever they want with the characters at any time, and that's what I like so much about it. Let's see, there was Manny brought up a really good point, and this is kind of big. So today. Chris Wong sent a message to Zack Snyder. He said, "Thanks, Zack. Sorry, I was just curious because some folks were using that image to prove that a company called Zoic Studios was working on Steppy." And he says, "No." So, Matt, does that confirm the fact that Zoic Studios is not working on?
I think that would confirm that. I think it would also confirm that there's an ongoing fight with some people that is now going to be continuing to ongo. And I would argue that one person specifically probably needs to slow their roll a little bit and maybe like take a few steps back and stop being antagonistic, because I kind of feel like that one person keeps kind of getting a little bit BTFO'd a little bit too much. So chill out.
Yeah, and that was another topic that I had was fandom wars. There's just been a lot of back and forth and just a lot of negativity that's been going around. And to be honest, look, the guys who are working as scoopers, for instance, it's not like it's easy work. They're doing everything they can to try and get these stories, however which way they can get it. So, I mean, I understand, each side of, this whole argument, but, at the end of the day, we're getting the movie that we all wanted. And in my opinion, let's just be happy that we're getting that. But it's obviously what I'm saying is it's easier said than done in terms of, some of the parameters or some of the ways that, they have gone about this.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it is what you have is you have one group of people that for some reason are very protective of one another. And I'm trying to think of the most diplomatic way to say things, to be honest with you. So, because I'm not trying to, these are things I observe. I'm not trying to piss anybody off or nothing, but it's it's like, I'll just say it. Like, you look at the Cultured Nerd and Lightcast have this friendship, and that's great. They're both good guys. I like them both quite a bit, but you cannot not see that every time there's pushback against something that Taylor posts, Matt comes in and acts like he's kind of like he's like a goon. He comes in like a goon. He did it to me when there was like Midnight's Edge posted a video and they mentioned Mikey Sutton, and Mikey had given them a scoop, I think about Keaton or something. And he's all, where did he get, do you know where he got that scoop? Because I'm friends with Mikey Sutton.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I don't know. He holds on to these things for a long time. And Matt's like, well, this came out of one camp. So it's like somebody's talking. And I'm all like, okay. Because he was basically trying to say that like Mikey had stolen the scoop from Taylor is my interpretation of it. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not involved in any of this shit. And then I noticed that like Taylor, when talking about these things, he just kind of says things sometimes that I listen to and I have to kind of go, I don't know if I believe that. Because when he starts talking about like, as much as I want Affleck to come back and he's like, oh yeah, no, the contracts are all signed. It's all good. It's all ready to go. I'm like, that seems too good to be true. I'm going to hold off on this one, But then if anyone comes out and like criticizes it, then here comes Matt kind of with this like protective attitude. And I'm like I get it. They're friends and I look after my friends. I can get very aggressive if you piss me off. Sure. Fine. But I'm like, okay, like, Garza and Matt fight all the time. And it's like, it just becomes pointless after a while.
Yeah. It's getting old. It's getting old fast. And the thing is that I don't think either one of them actually really want it, but it just keeps on happening. I mean, I love Matt. I've talked to him, all the time, and
he's a good guy.
And I've talked to Garza a bunch of times as well. And I know that some subjects are kind of sore right now because they're trying to get things sorted out. But the back and forth game, it's just, and then now poor Dawson is getting sucked into this as well. And he's an amazing guy. I absolutely adore Dawson. He's such a great friend. And I hate that he's kind of got caught in this as well. But this right here, well, this is, in my opinion, this is pretty fun. I don't even know how the fuck I missed this. This is pretty big.
Yeah, this does a pretty decent blow to Cultured Nerd, and you know, but at the same time, it doesn't even really matter. Like I saw that too. I saw ZS. I'm like, yeah, it's Zack Snyder. It like makes the most amount of sense. But then like people were trying to like make that connection, you know, and they were really trying to make that connection and really trying to put that square peg in that round hole. And when you can see people really trying to defend it that much, you're like, okay, there's something fishy here.
Yeah, you know, and this really goes against their credibility at this point, because obviously that whole aspect of their story was wrong. In saying that, like, you know, Zoic Studios was working on the Ayer cut, that they're you know, doing the whole OG Steppenwolf, which, well, I mean, we did get that, the OG Steppenwolf, and it looks like we're getting the Ayer cut, but it doesn't look like Zoic Studios was even working on this. And I know that Garza had that article or that tweet where he was saying that he had talked to a representative of that studio, and they said that they are not working on any projects. But it sounded more like a letter that they would send to anybody. But after seeing this right here, I mean, this is I mean, what else could he be saying no to than that?
Because there was another image I saw where it had the initials SH.
Yeah.
And someone then did this, like, it was like Shade or some company, and they tried like using those initials, like or those letters, to say it was like SH stands for Shade or whatever the company was called. And it didn't match up. Like, it just didn't match up. It's like, no, you could tell it's the editor, whoever the editor is, that's their initials up there. So if it gets leaked out, like we all know, but like, it's not hard to figure that out, but it's just, I don't think, because, you know, I've heard people describe Taylor to me, and like they describe him in a way that's very kind of like he's super connected. Like he's like old school Warners is what I've heard. And like, that's cool. You know what I mean? But it's like, so far I'm not seeing that represent itself in a solid track record. You know, I'm just not. And it's not, I don't know. I just want them to, like, I would say scale it, because if they're not making any money on the website, then scale it the hell back.
Oh no. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, there's everyone's just digging in now. But I mean, it does. That's a pretty big blow to their to the Culture Nerd. But I mean, I don't even know how I missed this. God dang it! And I was at work today too.
I barely paid attention to like anything today. Let's see here. I'm looking on the DCEU leak subreddit to see if they're talking, because they get into it over at the Cultured Nerd on there all the time. So, and these guys like the idea of being able to kind of like one up or kind of discredit scoopers, because they all hate like Jeremy Conrad and those guys.
Yeah.
So, which again, I think it's like people, you know, I mean, people get information, whether, you know, I mean, I'll give you a prime example. Look at Andy Signor, okay? When he came out saying the Snyder Cut's never going to happen, and he's like, "My source." Why did you say that name? You know, he's out there saying like, you know, it's never going to happen, never going to happen, never going to happen, right? They all hate him, but then it's like you hear stories about this kind of civil war taking place at Warner's, right? Like this internal battle, and it could be that the people that gave him that information are on, like, they wanted to sully the narrative.
Yeah.
A little bit. And like, maybe they gave him bad intel. And so it's like, that can happen. Maybe they're trying to just control a narrative and a bloop in their face. Maybe people were giving Taylor information and he wasn't vetting it well enough, or maybe he can't vet any of it. We don't know. But I don't know. I'm not discrediting the guy, but I don't know what his, you know, I don't know him very well, so I can't say anything. But, you know, if this is, yeah, like if because they were kind of dying on that hill about Zoic Studios. And
yeah, they were.
It's like, just, you know, now we kind of know that it was Zack Snyder.
So did you see this today? Or yesterday, I should say?
What?
This Chris Wong.
No, I just saw it when you showed it to me.
I know. That's what I'm kind of wondering.
I mean, I caught it a few hours after it came out. I mean, but yeah, Lightcast and as well as the Culture Nerd before that was posted, were given like these like subtle little hints, I guess you could say, saying that they were kind of proven right.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are like, I think they're looking for, you're going to get your different factions that are looking for whatever. I think we just need to kind of like hold tight until DC fandom. But you know, as we get closer, you know, these scoops and these leaks, they're going to like ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying it happened 3 hours ago.
Well, I mean, that it would put it at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30, and that is pretty late.
Hold on.
No,
is that what it was? Because he said on here it shows that's 11:54 a.m. That was this morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that I don't know.
But he didn't get a response until almost 4 o'clock p.m. And this is Hawaii time because you know he lives in Hawaii. This guy right here.
Well, he posted it 3 hours ago. It's got 63.
Oh wait,
retweets.
you're right. So he posted at 10:37 p.m. So yeah, no, he's right. He posted it tonight, and I'm sure you guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
There he is. That rep was truly ahead of its time. I know Ben is probably in here somewhere. Oh, here's Sandy Region. What does that mean? Oh God, he said no. Oh man. Hold on, get that thing out of the way. This guy. Oh, the Snyder Fan 47. What the hell is Zoic Studios? Yeah, they're all going to start ripping in now. And yeah, I think Manny's right. Going into tomorrow, or going into later today, I should say, it's going to get even more spicier. I think because this is late that this all came out. So yeah, this is going to be something pretty big.
Yeah, and Garza's is kind of living it up on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Let me see. Now we're just gonna troll Garza. Let's see if he's put anything else out.
Oh God! And Casey Walsh from
Oh no!
He jumped in on it too.
Oh God! I knew he was going to. I mean, he couldn't. There was no way that Casey Walsh was not going to get in on this. There's no way. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! 2 hours ago.
Oh man.
I've been off on my day.
Jeffrey. Who's Tom Taylor?
I don't know. Oh my God. This is one of the reasons why like I just didn't post any videos today. Cause like all of this shit, it just gets so effing old. You know, I'm like, it's all a fight. It's all nonsense.
It really is. I mean, who said it? I think it was you. No, maybe it was Ryan who said this. These are all first world problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta get to a point where you're just like, really? Okay.
Oh my God. I mean, there he is.
And I haven't seen maybe Lightcast has tweeted about it, but he isn't.
I don't think
no,
so.
he hasn't said anything.
No, he hasn't.
We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe.
Oh man, the Casey Walsh. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was confined. What? I didn't even say it's been confirmed by Zack Snyder, all in caps. Yeah, I mean, I can't. That's oh my God. Oh, he put his face on there. Womp womp. I don't really know what else to say at this point.
Everything is crazy.
This is nuts.
Yep.
Oh no! You're wondering why DC
Thank
Comics is
you.
trending? It's because one of the big two just imploded in a single day. This is the comic industry. Yeah, I know. DC Comics. I don't know what's going to go on with them.
Well, from what I was hearing, again, grain of salt on everything. That's why I took it. I was being told that it's possible that they're probably going to move away from publishing. They'll do digital publishing because but they're going to probably stop doing paper publishing or physical publishing, and then they might just work more on licensing. So like more movies or products or things like that, because that's AT&T at this point. Like all these layoffs, this is, it's big. And they even fired the guy. They even fired the head of HBO Max.
Yeah.
And like the dude who's out there going like, I love the Snyder Cut. And they're like, gone. So, you're like, uh-oh. Did he spend too much money on the Snyder Cut? That becomes a question I have.
I mean, do you think that it's to the point where it's not a good investment, or just that he wasn't using the money wisely?
It's possible just that like I think the bigger thing with them getting rid of that guy has more to do with Roku and Amazon, because I think the head of Warner Media or someone involved with Warner Media today had said, we expect to be on Amazon by the end of the year. And nothing on Roku. And as a person who has Roku TVs, I find it to be unacceptable that they're not on Roku yet. To the point of where I don't want to. I have a good deal. I bought the year deal with HBO Max, but I am tempted to call and cancel it, or just to cancel it, because I'm like, why am I paying for something that I can't watch where I want to watch it the most? And if everything I have HBO now, cool. But I want HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have, I support the Snyder Cut 100%, but I'm like, as a consumer, I'm like, I will get the service again when the thing comes out, because maybe it will be where I want to see it. I think they're also dealing with that too. So.
Well, guys, it's getting super late. It's 2:28 in the morning where I'm at. I know for you guys it's even later. Amshree's still here. I don't know, Amshree. I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out more about this as the day goes on, because in my opinion, this is a big story, and it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to escalate, as you could say. And only time will tell what we're going to see in the next few hours. So as everyone starts to wake up and realize what he posted. So I don't know. I tried watching Real Emotion and Dave, but they talk a lot of shit and got their followers to do it too. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm a person. I'm an in-person kind of guy. I mean, so am I. Yeah, I mean, look. It's like I said earlier, love him or hate him, Garza is who he is. That's just who they are. And I mean, believe me, I've talked to Dave plenty of times, and Chris Wong, they're good guys. They're friends of mine, and I have friends on. I guess I can say I have friends on both sides. But I do my best to stay neutral, because it's not something that I want to engage in, all this the banter back and forth. I posted a tweet about Sam Benjamin, and Garza replied, and then Dawson kind of went back and forth with him, and I thought some of it was kind of over the top. But at the end of the day, I reached out to Garza and say, hey, look, man, I wasn't trying to start anything with that tweet. And he said, no, you weren't trying to start anything. I initiated it. So you're all good. Because I was, at the end of the day, it's like I'm all about peace. That's it. I don't want to, and it's like Matt said, a lot of this drama is to a degree unnecessary, and I don't want it in my life, and I don't think anyone wants this kind of drama in their own life. I know Matt's probably doesn't want that in his life either.
Oh, it's light in comparison to what I deal with. I'm just like, you guys are lucky. Stay in your bubble.
I'm staying.
Don't
I don't
venture
want,
into the
don't
depths
burst
of the
my
internet.
bubble. Yeah, don't go where Matt's gone because if you
Don't,
do,
no.
you'll never come back.
No, like I said, I've seen things tonight that were like a Lovecraftian horror.
Oh God. All right, and with that, I'm gonna end the show. Did you guys want to go and plug yourself, Carlos? Want to start off?
Yeah, just at that one Carlos YT on Twitter and that one Carlos on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm gonna try to stream more. I have one stream already available there, so check it out.
And he does do. He has a camera. You can see his face when he does a stream.
I got bedhead and like 4 bags under my eyes. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's all good. And then Geeks Cosmics Entertainment. You want to plug yourself at all?
DC Films Universe release the aircut on Twitter, and plus I do doing a top 10 video for DC animated shows at Geeks Cosmic Entertainment.
All right, and then Matt, everybody knows who you are.
You can find me on Twitter at mjarbo, or sometimes coming in really late to fuck up Nickatina streams.
Yeah, but you're always welcome here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And he also has some other shows too. Milk Carton Mysteries, $3 Theater.
Yeah. Which I was going to do Milk Carton tonight, right? And I'm all like, I'll just check what's going on the internet, and then 5 hours later, I'm here.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you set out to do these videos. Like, you know how many days I've said, you know what, I'm going to start clipping my videos and putting them out there, and I never do it. Even tonight, I was like, I'm going to go on for like an hour, and then spend one more hour, just clipping videos, and that didn't happen at all. I stayed here and talked with everybody else, but I had a good time.
That's all you can really hope for.
That's it. So with that, I want to say thank you all for coming on. Carlos, Geeks and Cosmics, Jarbo, thank you guys for coming on. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Obviously, you can follow me over here, right there, at Nickatina_show on Twitter. I'm also on Twitch at the Nickatina Show. It's the_Nickatina_show, but it makes sense if you see it. And same thing on Periscope as well. And I'll be back probably Wednesday night because I'm going to be out of town tomorrow. And if I'm not too wiped out, I'll probably do it on Wednesday night. And then other than that, I'll be back. I don't even know when I'm going to be back because we're working a bunch of late shifts. So we'll see how that works out. But I will be on the 4 Nerds August 20th. And that will be a really good episode, and you guys should check that out. Not just because I'm going to be on it, but I guarantee you, it's not it's not an episode that you want to miss because it's going to be good. Bye, Nickatina. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Ray, for being on the entire time. Awesome stream, guys. Had a great time. Thanks, Nickatina. Oh, thank you so much. That's great. And I love talking about any day. And like I said, thank you everyone who came on. Like and subscribe. Smash the like button so that YouTube knows that you guys like my content. And Matt, Carlos, Cosmics, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
you for having me too.
Of course. And anytime you guys want to come on and that I'm streaming, these late night streams, when I do the midnight run, I always post the link in the chat, so you guys are always welcome to come on. I know Carlos stayed up extra late for me, which I appreciate.
Yeah, the sun's coming up right now.
There we go. But normally I do my show on Sunday nights, not this late, obviously. I try and do it around 6:30, 7 o'clock my time, so it's like 9, 10 o'clock, over there. So that way it's not too late. But oh, look at Niner for life. What's up, man? Yeah, good night, guys. All right, and with that, I'm going to end the show. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you next time.